Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Brogan. Today we are doing another simple signal stream, and it's down. We are pretty down. I have actually an article. Would you believe it? Okay, the first ever simple signal stream where we've actually going to be covering an article before we get to the charts. Which is going to be crazy. Obviously, we had the data come out 14th. I think it was yesterday. I think it was 14th. Oh, we'll get into it. Whatever. We had like CPI data. It was good. We obviously pumped, and then obviously we dumped. If you've been watching the charts, you will know what happened. I do have I have two really interesting things to look at. I have Bitcoin options expiry is, I believe, tomorrow, which we're going to get into, which is going to be huge if we don't recover properly. Which actually backs up exactly what I've been saying in the past three streams, possibly, when we've been talking about. I think Bitcoin has 55k, 56k support area, which I think we should probably come to. That is kind of backing us up a bit, which is really, really nice to see. I also have some other charts on futures, which looks at open interest and CVD, and I'm comparing it to a previous point in history of Bitcoin's past price action and how the OI and CVD has followed. So we have some comparison to some Bitcoin history, which is going to be good to look at as well. So it's pretty packed on Bitcoin in terms of what we're looking at. I'm cutting it an hour today. 10 o'clock I'm going off. I don't care what's happening. I'm going off at 10 o'clock. Just for a fair warning. Got any coins you want to cover, put them in chat. But again, like I said, if there's a lot of spam. And for the OGs as well, I know some of you are here. If you could put the coins in the chat, in the OG chat, before the stream starts, that's how I'm going to be looking at it hopefully from now on. I will still take the occasional suggestion from people in general. I still will take suggestions, but it'll just be easier if you guys would suggest it before the stream. So next time, please. And other than that, check the descriptions out. Links down there. Telegram mainly. If you're not in there already, if you're on Binance, go to the description. I think the first link there is the Telegram, which is the main Telegram where everyone else is. We've got a big community there. Obviously got the OG area, $2.99 a month on YouTube. That is just to support the channel. Obviously, it's not going to change the world, but it will help us. You get access to all the indicators we have in there, all the TA we have in there. I had some mad TA. I haven't posted in there for a while. I'm probably going to post after the stream a bit of a roundup of what I've talked about today and some other things as well. So if you're interested in looking at there, want to support the channel, you're someone who's maybe watched here a couple of times, maybe 2 or 3 times, you're like, these guys seem pretty cool, I like them, I want to support them, go to YouTube, $2.99 a month. And also, just to bear in mind, some people aren't, don't have access to the donations on YouTube. So if you don't have access to that and you do want to support the channel, you can still contact Mike and there'll be something going on there. We'll still add you to the group, and that's pretty much it really. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to go over some percentages now, having a little look after I drink some water though. My throat is dry. We'll look at some percentages, just see what's going on. It's going to take like 2 seconds, and then we'll go on to the article, which is right here. Very interesting. Obviously, we'll look at some CPI stuff, and then we'll get onto Bitcoin and everything there. We have like 3 charts to look at. It's pretty crazy. So we're going to be doing that. We're at 57,865 right now. You can see on 24-hour and 7-day, you can see, we have dumped either recently or within the last 24 hours, whatever. We have also done that. As you can see, the 7-day and 24-hour are very similar percentages. Very recently we must have dumped. Obviously, you can see on the right-hand side, there's a little preview. We have dumped, and it was a response to the coming out of the data. I believe something got leaked that it was going to be positive. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. I believe it was the data anyway, or they didn't say the data exactly, but they kind of alluded to it because they were pushed on it, something like that. There was kind of this thing going on. Which obviously I believe that was kind of what pumped the market. It's kind of like the buy rumor sell news, because something like that came out. So instead of it being about the news and the numbers coming out, even though we still came out more positive than we were expecting to be. It then kind of shifted towards, well, we've bought the rumor because of them being pushed, and now we're probably going to sell the news. So that sort of thing where even if it was going to be positive, we were still going to dump anyway, which we did do. Over on Bitcoin. So other than that, Ethereum down 4.25% 24-hour, 2,547. I believe, I don't know where we've bounced off. I can see we have a wick there. I don't know what exact price is, but it's probably within the 26,000, 2,600, that kind of range. We do have, I believe, was previous support and now resistance there. We've got a bunch of, we've got like 2,800, 2,900. Obviously, we've got 3,000. That's a huge number as well. So we've got a ton of resistance where we are for Ethereum right now, but we're still kind of just following the market. You see with like Ethereum, we're basically just following exactly what Bitcoin's doing. No surprise there. Solana, like I always said, the moody child of crypto. You can see the chart isn't following too exactly. You can see we're 11% down on the 7-day, We were at like $145 like not too long ago. I think maybe last stream. It was pretty crazy. Obviously 4% down 24 hour, 2% down the 1 hour. It's pretty crazy. In 5 minutes we're down 2%. That's really crazy actually for Solana. We're probably actively dumping as we speak. I don't know actually. We'll get to the charts in a second. That's all everyone want to cover. Also, if you're new to the stream and you don't know what's going on, the main coins we do Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Those are our main coins we do. So you don't have to suggest that. That's something we do at the start of the stream, and then after I've covered them, we then go on to suggested coins. If there's no suggested coins, I might do 1 or 2 coins I want to look at, and then that's pretty much it for the stream. But like I said, I'm going to keep it to 10 o'clock deadline for this stream today. So yeah, I think we should just go on to this article. I want to read this quickly because I thought it was interesting. And it also happens tomorrow, just to bear in mind. And I just want to see what they think, what this guy thinks. I want to see what this guy thinks, and I want to see if it lines up with what I've kind of talked about previously, based on different things. I haven't looked at options expiries on Bitcoin. Let me just check the chat real quick before I get into anything else. Nothing in Binance, no surprise there. It's a bunch of spam. See what's going on YouTube. Got Kishan to go. Absolutely not, Kishan. You are true one, man. Always here, every stream, always at the start. Great, man. Love to have you go. Love to have you here. So I just saw a chat on Binance. Yeah, man. I thought someone. Problem is, obviously on Binance, if you don't know, there's like boxes, and there's just a ridiculous amount of the same message. Whatever. I'll leave that. I'll let it marinate because some people don't talk in there. I'll say it again if you've just joined. If you've got any coins you want me to cover, put it in the chat. Also, if you're part of the OG group or if you're in the Telegram in general, no matter where you are, if you want to suggest coins, put it in there before I stream. It just makes it a bit easier for me and everyone else, just to get it a bit more flowing instead of me sitting there for 5 minutes asking everybody. And also, I'm going to be ending it at 10 o'clock. So, YouTube, KB, yo, what's going on? Danny's here, what's going on? Man, it's been a while. It has been a while. There's some people. I'm looking at the viewership, actually. There's actually a decent amount of people. So, if you're here in the YouTube, say hello. Can't scroll in the chat. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to this though. I want to read this quickly because we do have a lot to cover on Bitcoin. I don't want to waste too much time. So, title: Bitcoin sell pressure may break 56, or it may break the 56k support because of the sell pressure as options expiry loom. So, the Bitcoin price could experience significant downside volatility unless it manages to recover above $60,000 before the options expire on August 16th. That is going to be pretty huge. That's obviously tomorrow. I don't know when exactly tomorrow. Probably here it is. Whoops. So actually it's actually in the morning, pretty early. So UC plus 2 is where that's my time frame. So about 10 a.m. my time, 8 a.m. UTC is when they all expire. Over $1.4 billion worth of Bitcoin, according to Deribit. I think I had the tweet up, but I don't. I think I could probably open it with this. Yeah, 1.88 billion. Oh, of crypto in general. Obviously Ethereum is also there. But you can see the max pain is at $60,000. Pretty crazy. So it's gonna hurt if we don't get that. And what we're at right now, 57,743. We've had a huge candle down. It's been pretty crazy. Let me go to 1 hour on this chart. Yeah, you can see we're pretty down. Really pretty down over it all. So are we gonna recover that? I don't really know. And especially before 8 a.m. UTC, which is pretty early, it's gonna be pretty painful. So yeah, here it is. So basically, obviously, max pain point is about 60,000. Indicates the price at which most options contracts would expire worthless, which is obviously not a good thing if you're wanting to, rip up in the price. However, according to Cointelegraph data, Bitcoin fell over 3.6% during the past 24 hours. Obviously, this was when it was released 9 hours ago. So again, like I already said, with this 1 hour, actually, you can see these candles are huge. Really big sell. We're actually coming to fill this right now as we speak. We're pretty far down right now on Bitcoin. I don't really care about this. I care about this area. So I want to see what they think would lead. What would happen to the Bitcoin price if this sort of thing happened, where we actually were below 60k and it was huge pain in the options expiry, and they think we could dip below 56k. And if you've been on stream, past 2 streams I've talked about Bitcoin, maybe the last stream I think it was only, I talked about below 56k already. I've already talked about this. I talked about my structure. Obviously, my structure was wrong because obviously of our CPI data. I was just drawing a general movement down. I could see we had print lower highs and lower lows coming down towards those areas. Obviously, we had CPI data. That was going to kind of make the market a bit like black box situation right there. But we weren't really going to follow market structure properly, which is fine because it's data coming out, which we are going to talk about after this article. But they are thinking, this guy, I believe it's probably this guy, or even these people. Let's see. August 14th, that was yesterday. when was this? This was yesterday. Obviously, they think likely to short the market, which we actually are going to talk about because we do have OICVD data I do want to look at in a minute when we go into the futures for Bitcoin, which we will also look at because I saw a significant amount of open interest coming in, and I was trying to find the liquidation points, and we have been touching them pretty well so far. So it seems like we're trying to come down to liquidate on the different multiplications, probably towards the 20x leverage, which we will see when we get to there. I actually don't know what price it is. Normally, the most, obviously 2019, the most common leverage amount was around 20x-ish. So I want to see what sort of price that is for Bitcoin to see where we could roughly end up, on the grand scheme of things. Or the if we were to fall the most, where we would roughly fall to. So these guys think we were obviously to short. Obviously that happened. Did it happen? Yeah. I mean, Jesus, look at this. 57.2. Woof. That was probably just a big. Obviously, we'll get into that in a second. So obviously, this guy thinks we're going to come down. Obviously, shorting, it's not going to happen over like 2 seconds. It's going to take a while. So he's thinking short. Fair enough. I also think that. 56k mark acts as a potential demand zone, as I've talked about. Yes. Pseudonymous creator, crypto pump analysis on August 15th post. Now the price of Bitcoin is expected to reach the next demand zone at 56k. When Bitcoin price comes near the 56k zone, we will try long. Yep, I completely agree. I think that's pretty much the article. So obviously, I'm going to the chart really quickly. So this is what I had drawn roughly. I deleted it by accident, but I redrew it. I had something like this. Obviously, we had this whole period of when the data came out and the leak. I believe there's a leak. It wasn't a leak. It was kind of like it was a prompted linguistic reckon of what's going on from 44k coming. I actually agree with you completely. I'll talk about that in a second. I actually completely agree with you. Or everyone says KB. Mike keeps on trying to tell me we're not going towards there. I still have that in the books. Obviously, if I zoom out, my range down here, I've already had this. I've had this. 46, 45k. But anyway, we'll see. But I had this drawn already. Just to say, okay, cool. We've got this market structure. We could be continuing these lower highs and lower lows. However, obviously we had this data. Then this sort of, I believe it was like they basically said that they weren't going to be negative, which is basically a positive thing. So instead of it being a scenario where the market was gonna either pump or dump based on if the CPI data was positive or negative, it was then so much of a, are we going to be positive? How much are we going to be positive kind of thing. But regardless, it kind of shifted into a buy the rumor, sell the news scenario because we already knew it was going to be positive. So everyone obviously bought when this sort of stuff came out. Obviously 2 p.m, which was obviously here you can see actual and forecast. It was we are more positive than forecasted, which is a good sign. We already knew that because of the leak. Coming into 8:30 a.m. America time. Where obviously I know America's a big place. We've got different time zones, but I believe it's about EST, EDT, Eastern Daylight Time, whatever the hell it is. But I'm just saying, for me, that is about 2:30 p.m. My time. So obviously we've got to go back to that in the chart. You can see 2 to 3 was when we started to dump. So it came into a scenario where it wasn't so much of we're going to pump just depending on how much. It was okay, we've already pumped because we know it's positive. So now it just matters that the news is going to come out. It's going to happen. Cool. Everyone's going to sell. And that's exactly what happened. Well, I don't know why I have this white line. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so let me delete that now. I don't really need that on the screen. So now we can actually go onto the charts and actually have a look at what's going on. So this was the chart I drew my structure. Obviously, I've just kind of shimmied it over in terms of our movement right now. I do believe we are going to be. We've obviously had our high. We've put a lower low in. Put a lower high in. Now we're coming down again. So we're going to be putting a lower low in. We haven't broken. We haven't shifted or anything like that. We're still in our downtrend. So I don't expect this to change anytime soon. We've got sell. We've got this high volume candles, which says more sell anyway. So it's pretty negative on the 1 hour anyway. Obviously, if we cascade upwards, it's going to be still negative. You can see if I hide this candle, it's like supremely negative. Let me actually unhide that as well. Yeah, that's all I really want to show. So you can see we're really just coming down right now. I've already drawn these areas. Obviously, we've got this general candle. You can see this inefficiency here, which has about 56k. I drew this from back here, though, on the stream, which was about 55.5k, going towards about 55k. These guys are talking about breaking below 56k. I could believe so. Even though we do have this, area, its fill area is about 55.5. So I think max height is 56k exactly, or not exactly, but that basic price. I don't think we, there is a kind of a 50, not 50-50, but there's a chance we don't come all the way down to these, 55k areas. but we could at least break below 56k, aka coming towards 55.5. So that is my rough area if this follows through. That is, yeah, that's basically my rough area. You can see this was formed based on a shift. You can see we broke above this high. Obviously, we were in this downtrend, recovered a bit higher low, but then it was the higher high, which kind of broke us into this uptrend a bit. Obviously, forming these big gaps here, which we are obviously eventually filled, as you can see by this one. Obviously, we're now dipping below because we've already filled this area here when we came towards 58k. So we're now dipping below. We're at 57.3, 57.4. We're all over the place right now, all over the shop. So we are kind of coming down now. So tomorrow's going to be huge when the option expiry, whatnot. Mike said 52k and West 44k. Yeah, 52k. There's lines there. There's 50k. 52k. Obviously, there's some lines there. We do have some candles here, but I think on my highest regard or my highest area, I don't know, because we're still in this like on the long term of things. This is what's concerning me though on the daily downtrend thing going on right here. Obviously, we've been in this downtrend. We've been in this downtrend. Obviously, we formed this high, formed this low. If we might be forming this high now, that means we're going to be prematurely coming down. And what have I already said? What have I already said about coming into this bull flag is be careful of basically middle ground bouncing, coming to the neutral point, coming to the equilibrium, and then coming back down again for like a double whammy. It seems like we could have some sort of that scenario where we've kind of roughly come into the equilibrium point and we could be coming down again. I could expect us to be then coming below our lower low to continue the structure, which would surpass us at least below 49k. Where's the next logical area? Obviously, there's 49k at this high wick where we kind of saw a near enough double top. You can kind of see, or not double top, but like equal highs roughly here, which obviously we surpassed completely. But it's not really anything significant. I think the next area are number one, these high volume candles down here, which range in between about 46.8 and 43 basically. I've got this green area. I believe this is in between this 40k line down here, which we had many lows at. Obviously had our sweep below, which continued or which caused this basically. We had like this kind of accumulation, forming many equal lows. Sweep below it, obviously then forming this huge uptrend, which then formed this thing. I'm not attributing this. I believe this was when some big news came out, so I'm not attributing this. But you can't deny that there's high volume candles and there's many high and low areas, especially this line at 44k, which is where I roughly think as well. Top of the range is roughly about 45.7, going towards 44k. So I think there, maybe 46.5, like maximum in terms of, the highest value we could see our bounce. 52k, there's potential. I don't know what he's seeing there. He could be seeing these highs up here. There's potential for this, if we shimmy this along, you can see 52.2. So it could be these highs he's looking at. I could see that. But again, I think the majority of the weight is in this 44, 46k range down here, which would obviously we've already, personally anyway, obviously this isn't everybody, but personally my bull flag was drawn based on the wicks. So when we've had this wick coming towards 49, I know this was a big market movement where you maybe not necessarily break out the trend or the chart pattern. It's still, I can't deny the fact that we broke out of the lows or the trend line of the lows. So I can't ignore that. And, it could suggest we've started to break out of this. I still think we're still going to see high numbers coming into, September, October time with this this phase up here, coming up towards, I think, mine was 85k. Some people say, obviously, 120k max. Or there's some people saying that those really high numbers, 95k. I had 90k at one point, but, conservatively and lowly, I got 85k. But with things, kind of coming along in the market and things happening, it could boost that number higher and higher. But also something to bear in mind, the lower we go in this bull flag, the lower our max value is going to be for breaking out of this. So there's that to bear in mind as well. But yeah, no, like I said, I've kind of gone off topic from this chart, but I do agree with this area down here completely. So yeah, this is what I think. I had this. I'm going to delete it because obviously this was market external analysis. We also bounced off this demand area. It was basically a buyer. You can see, a lot of wicks down here, which didn't really have anything successive. Then you can see we had a wick below the area, and then we came up. And then we wick below the area, came up pretty strongly. And then when we come to these areas, we kind of slowly move. Obviously, this was our turning point where we kind of flipped it, and then we came below. Again, we wicked below, but we're having this big dump right now. Really, really big dump. Really high volume as well. I don't know if we have... Oops. We do, obviously, having this big volume area. You can see, reading this volume, you can see the previous candles. don't really have. I mean, there's just a very significant amount of volume in this candle. I'm not saying it's fully sell volume. However, the wicks, there's no buy wick. You can see there's no wick going back upwards, suggesting there's not like any buy volume. There's buy volume down here. You can see there's a wick here, which suggests that we came to 57.5 and then came back upwards, suggesting there's some sort of buy. But for the fact that the wick isn't that big and there's no wick up here, suggesting that there's not really much of any buy volume coming in. On the coming up at 58.8, for example, there's not like a significant value there where it's like, okay, cool, we're at this value, I think we should come up, or there's a bunch of buyers in the market suggesting we should be coming up. There's none of that. There's just a straight candle downwards. So pretty negative on that grand scheme of things. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much more to say. I think today's TA, obviously I'm going to be going into the future, probably on this chart more so, because this is more of a higher time thing. But I think this looking at these charts today is going to be more so of a looking at what I've already said and seeing if it's still valid or not, which I still think it is with this movement. If it's not this candle, about 58k, we've got 60k up here. Now, obviously in the article it suggested before tomorrow about 10 a.m. my time or 8 a.m. UTC, we should hopefully, or we need to recover 60k in order for it to not make a huge impact on the market or on Bitcoin for these options to expire. So if we're not at that price, so if we're coming towards these areas, and to be fair, their 56, 55k range was based on these options expiring, so that might happen tomorrow morning. But we've already had this movement downwards. Let me open this. There's a red dot on this thing. I want to see what's going on. Who cares about gift cards? Okay, whatever. Idiots. Okay, so yeah, going back into it, I still think we're in this downtrend. We haven't suggested anything in terms of, oh yeah, we've got an equal low here, or we're trying to surpass the high. There's nothing, unless some sort of crazy sentiment change on the lower time frames. We've not got that. We're still in this really strong movement downwards, a bit of a retracement, really strong movement downwards. This is good structure downwards. So I don't really think we stop maybe anytime soon. Maybe there's some sort of maybe this area you can see there's sort of some highs, consistent, maybe somewhere here, which we've already wicked, so you can see that didn't even mean to draw that, but you can see there's rough highs in this area, maybe at 57 exactly towards 57.2. Maybe there's some sort of buy area where we maybe hover at it, but I think when we print the next candle on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, especially the 4 hour, I want to see what the 4 hour prints. This 4 hour is going to be huge to come down to. Yeah, I think it's really coming down to here. But looking at our speed, it looks like we're already coming towards 57 or 56, 55. So it looks like we're already coming to this demand area before anything native even happens. So what could this mean? This could mean we either come to this and then go back upwards in time for the options to not expire at max pain, or we come to this area where it doesn't have an effect going back above 60k, and then we just have more sell at the sell, and we just dump below all this. There's potential for that, coming down to potentially 52k down here. Absolutely. In terms of if we have a double whammy where it's okay, we're coming to this buy area, then we hover a bit, and then options expire, then we dump more, breaking below support lines or support areas, and then come towards next significant area, which obviously is 52.5 to 52k based on this candle, and then it's going to be from there. We've not got any floor. We're then coming towards 45, 44k. So I'm still holding on to 44k. I'm going to move on to this now. I want to see what this is going on. So this is OICVD data with it's just a small little indicator. I made this really quickly just to map out where liquidations would be based on different percentages. So let me actually I don't need to talk about anything here, so let's just talk about this. So I need actually, you know what, let me check the chat. I haven't looked at the chat in a bit of time. You talk too much and put 2 ship. Leave the chat. Good broadcast, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. People saying crash. I don't know if this is the thing. Again with Binance, there's comment boxes, and Mike's always in the chat putting comment boxes. There's 0. Yeah, I'll have a look at that in a second. Alright. Okay. There's no chat in there. Let me check the YouTube chat just to see what's going on. Yeah, Mike's at 50k, worse 44. Yep. Solo, hi Dragon, what's going on? I'm glad you can join. You know what? I'm looking at it again. There's a decent amount of people here. Say hello. I mean, there's more people than what's letting on the chat, so come say hello, man. Come on, don't be shy. 44k coming. Yeah, read that. Okay, let me go back to this. So these are liquidation prices. So these are each and every price. It's okay. It's kind of clammy up in here. Before this big old amount of contracts opened, I was looking back here. So I am aware this was in a period of externality, if you will, where things were happening, not outside of the price action, but it was external. However, I still can compare it. This movement was outside of price action, so we can still compare it. These are similar enough actions in contracts. So basically, these candles means basically a mass liquidation. And we can see the cumulative volume delta is kind of what shows the buy and the sell, and it's cumulative, like what's the change basically in the volume, and obviously it arcs up and downwards depending. So we can see when it's majority red, and then there's a lot of volume or open interest, basically contracts closing, suggesting there's a mass amount of contracts closing. What does it mean? It means there's a lot of sell. So that means people have longed, aka doing a buy, and then they have to bring it back because they've been liquidated. So these are a huge amount of long liquidations, basically. Obviously, coming down is going to be long liquidation. But comparatively here, you can see the same exact thing. This was even worse. This is probably one of the most mass liquidations I've seen. Maybe here, 16th of August, 2023. A year ago, actually. That's crazy. So a year ago, basically, or not really a year ago, maybe a year ago, minus 2 weeks, a similar thing happened. You can see mass liquidation right here. Huge liquidation. Again, it's happened again. You can see really big movement downwards in the contracts, the longs and shorts, and you can see really a big amount of volume coming down. Huge, pretty drastic. This is only on Binance. This isn't a aggregation of multiple platforms in terms of its volume and its contracts and whatnot. So, but it's still a representative of what the market's thinking and what the market's doing. So there's that. But you can see as soon as these candle stocks come in, there's mass sell. So basically, it's not like contracts were closing where there was take profits, where like it was like sellbacks. This is like an extreme amount of like liquidations. Extreme amount of liquidations, obviously coming down. So I just want to talk about that, and I just wanted to compare the price action here. Basically, we had inverted head and shoulders. We could be having something similar. And okay, what would form a similar head and shoulders? Let me hide this really quickly. What would form a similar head and shoulders? Well, the head has to be the biggest wick down. So the head has to be a bigger wick than 48k. So that means 48k and below was where the head could roughly be. So I've got a range at 46k towards 44k. So does that not back up what I'm thinking more? I could be speaking to an echo chamber. It could be some crap TA. But still, you can't deny it. Or you can't deny it. Obviously, it's opinion, but you know what I'm saying. So we've got this potential right shoulder, or left shoulder if it's third, yeah, whatever. Left shoulder, potentially here. Could potentially form a head if we do this again. And then obviously we could form, and then again the right shoulder at that point is more so of a you're more waiting for the neckline break than more so, because if we get out a head and shoulders tool, for example, let's say this, where is it? There it is. So let's say we just draw this like really quickly, like here. You can see it doesn't really matter where the right shoulder goes. Obviously, it's preferable that it doesn't go above the head. Okay, actually, let me draw the head better. So let's say the head comes towards like 44k or 44k. So that's a good head. Let's say the neckline comes back here. This is pretty good coming from this top line. And then at this point, the right shoulder could be at like 37k. And then all that matters is the break of the neckline. So, okay, I'll delete it again. Hold on, just give me a second. About 44k, let's say. Coming out to here. So the right shoulder, let's say again it's 48k. Just in theory, it could be 56k, for example. What matters is that break of neckline. So once we see that movement above 59k, that's when we know we're in the money. Roughly coming in towards 9th or 10th of September. What does that sound like? It sounds like manipulation. So I think we do have this movement upwards, eventually finishing off this accumulation, having this manipulation for the downside, and then coming up towards AMD cycle, a bullish AMD cycle. Manipulation has to be negative that distribution could be positive. Distribution coming into basically 21st September, coming into August time, or October time, sorry. Basically ending at basically finishing at the end of October towards the 1st November is when I think this smaller distribution phase is. So yeah, that's what I think. Let me bring up these liquidations really quickly just to finish this off, and then I can go into the Ethereum Solana, and then we can look at suggestions. I will also look at money flow in a second for Bitcoin. So let me just hide these really quickly, and I'll just show you the liquidation price just really, really quickly. So you can see what happened. So again, 100 liquidation, isn't too crazy. These are going to be sells. This is kind of a Cassian thing. So we finished off with 100, and then we stopped at this 50 line exactly. Obviously we were below, but we finished off printing at this 50 line exactly, coming up to this inefficiency, coming back down again. We've waited to 25x. So this is the price area, assuming there's no stop losses. I've got wind. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Nearly at 56k already. Jesus Christ. 25x is this price basically is in theory, if there's no like stop loss or whatever, this is where the liquidation would be. That's what liquidations are. We've wicked to it exactly, and then we're starting to come up a bit. Obviously, I'm not saying this is exact, but this is where these liquidations are going to be. Or 20x. 20x, like I said, is the important price, which is where 56.2. Obviously, 10x is going to be important. 53. I'm not thinking 53. Maybe like a 15x in the middle would be maybe roughly 54, 55, which is where I think as well. So we could come, I reckon, in the middle of this area. Obviously, coming towards this low end here. You can see we kind of have this going on, midline being about 55k as well. So something like that down here, I reckon we can still go to before we finish up. But again, higher time frame, thinking aloud, pie in the sky, this, that, the other. We've got this. You know what? To be fair, I didn't even realize this. I didn't even realize that this is actually basically inverted head and shoulders coming up into distribution phase coming upwards. So I do still think we're in for this. I haven't backed down. With this. I still think we're in for it. I'd rather, like I said in my stream, I'd rather be confidently wrong than snakishly right, whatever, where you change sentiment every 2 seconds. I've kept this. All right, there's been moments where I'm like, okay, I might want to change this. I'm not saying obviously now that we've broken this, that, the other price, we're gonna come all the way down. I know it for sure. But there's things going on in the market which are slightly backing this up. Based off this AMD phase. This is just what I'm looking at. So anyway, I'm gonna go on to look at money flow really, really quickly, and then we can move on to Ethereum Solana, go on to suggested coins, and then yeah. So let me go on to this. I don't really look at market stuff too much lately. This is a 4 hour. Let me hide this one because this is balls. There we go. So what's money flow saying? Okay, let me hide this this stupid stochastic. Can't say anything. Okay, so what have we got going on? We've got money flow starting to arc a bit. This price is crazy. Let's go to 1 hour. You can see, yeah, the money flow's already been coming down. You can see, obviously, it starts to come up, but it starts to come down. So we've got money flow coming down 4 hour. Daily, this is obviously coming up, but this started to arc, obviously, in these basic candles. You can see we came back into these areas. We've got below all these EMAs, and now we're coming down again. VUP's kind of coming down, got red dot again. It's looking pretty meh right now for this price action. This is daily as well, so this is like a long-term thing. So if money flow starts to come down long-term thing, that's going to be a couple of days of negativity. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. Even here, you can see, obviously, this was kind of attributed to something else, but, downwards movement. It's more so of a direction, not, obviously, you've got your indicators or whatever you use for direction, and then you should really have your indicators or TA methods for position. So this is basically a directional thing. So, this could be a downwards movement. Like, if we go to here, for example, this movement up is a tiny movement upwards. This movement downwards, only from here, or coming from down here, there's a big movement downwards. So, it is all relational. But yeah, the money flow is not really looking too good. Daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, the lots. 30 minute, yeah, pretty negative as well. Actually, a really nice arc on this, pretty overbought. Big old red dot, really nice view up coming down. Money flow is also starting to come down. Really, really nice here. But yeah, I'm not gonna look at this too much. I'm gonna move on to Ethereum now. Let me delete this. Actually, you know what? Let me look at the Ethereum things. I want to see where they could be. Let me hide this because it's not what we need. Obviously, this is a very similar scenario where we came down. But you can see that the contracts are not really coming up too much. You know, it's not really anything crazy. Maybe on the 1 hour, no, not really much too much. Much crazy. I mean, there's a big movement up. We've already recovered it all. You know, in this movement downwards, you can see we formed all these contracts. People are opening longs and shorts or whatever. Probably in this case, you can see from this period going upwards, you can see volumes coming up. So these are probably all longs, majoritively. See big old red candle coming down, and then you can see as we come up again, there's more green. So everyone in this period is longing, and then you can see this big old wick is basically taking it all out. You can see, how do we know it's already all been taken out? Well, there's an equal amount of contracts from this period being open, and we've now come all the way back down from being closed. So you can see all these contracts have already closed. So it doesn't really matter. Bitcoin's normally where it's at, or always pretty much where it's at in terms of looking at OI and CVD right now anyway. But anyway, I'm going to move on to Ethereum. I don't know. I keep on forgetting which charts I use because I use different things here. Is this the one? Is this the old one? I think this might be the old one. Yeah, it's the proper one. So yeah, in terms of, like I've already talked about many times, I think the Ethereum, I think 1900 was, or nearing that area was about where I thought we had, you know, basically the equivalent of 44k for Bitcoin was about 1900 for Solana, or for Ethereum, sorry. Obviously, we've got this area down here is pretty crazy, but I'm thinking more so in this area. You know, you've got 2079 nearing 2100. That'll be huge. But again, if we think about it, you know, if we see, okay, Bitcoin, this is basically, you know, 2091 is basically the equivalent of Bitcoin's 49k. So the next area down is either going to be, you know, 1900, like I've already said, potentially coming into, you know, 1800, you know, that area. I don't know if we have any inefficiencies. We can see there's kind of like a hoverage here where there could be a lot of potential for support. Again, another area here. So I think roughly in between 18 to 1900 is the 44k of Ethereum. I've already said this on a couple of streams. You can go back in them. This is what I've said. High volume, really high volume right now on Ethereum. No surprise there. It's gonna, once we print this, it's just gonna be superbly negative. Coming towards this green area right now. Don't know why I had this. I don't know if this is like an order block or something. I don't know why I have this drawn. Is this like a... Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's basically an order block. So yeah, look at that. I didn't even mean to. A whole order block with volume backing it up as buy. So we do have a decent area of volume here. We have a decent area, 2,400 basic area, 2,250. We've got good areas. We've got really good areas to support. But again, you know, can't deny the fact that we are coming down pretty heavily. 56.8 for Bitcoin. This is crazy. We're pretty much already coming towards. So if let's compare it again. Bitcoin has 56 to 55k, coming down maybe another, you know, 1,800 towards maybe 1,000 roughly for Bitcoin. So where would that be for Ethereum? I think that is the equivalent of 2,400 basic area down here. I think this is the rough area. You can see maybe if I draw this area. You can see we've already come into this, and now we've come up. So you can see this is probably already invalidated. So I could suspect that we come to the bottom of this. You can see from this basically an inefficiency right here, came back into it, and then we had this big pump upwards. So we've probably already finished this off. So I could expect the rest from 2,400 down towards 2,350 to be pretty big fall. But again, we do have this area here, obviously this order block here, coming into giving all this volume here where there's potential for a lot of buy. So I think the equivalent of about 56 to 55k for Ethereum, or Bitcoin, sorry, is Ethereum's 2,450 basically. I think we can come down to there for Ethereum. There's not really much more to say. We've got a huge sell. We're not really going up anytime soon. This is just gigantic here, just ridiculously large here. We had this line up here. Obviously, you can see once we sweep it, we come down, sweep it, come down again. Pretty negative. Let me go to the 4 hour. You can see even here, this is a crazy area. I've talked about this on another stream as well. 2,800, really big resistance. Already talked about this. You can see our entry into this potential sell area, immediate response downwards. We have all this left. So basically 2,800 is just backing up basically for another big sell area. So big sell area, 2,700 big sell area. This is going to print. This whole thing's going to print. It's going to be a huge sell area. It's going to be pretty negative. You know, I'm not holding on for too much hope right now. It's pretty negative. And we haven't even had tomorrow yet. We haven't even had $1.4 billion worth of options closing, potentially below 60k, being max pain. That's going to be huge as well. This isn't really good. This isn't looking good. What have I've already talked about this. I've already talked about how I think we're down. I think we're coming down. This is all I see. All I do is talk about what I see. It could be wrong, could be right. Obviously, take your own opinion. So, moving on to Solana now. I normally spend most time on Bitcoin because that's normally where it's at, really, for TA. Let's go with MEXC. MEXC is the main. Obviously, not saying, don't have any allegiance to any certain exchanges, but just saying. Yeah. That's, which is where I do my TA. Let me check the balance chart because I haven't looked in there in a while. What? I don't know how operated this. Oh, you mean what do you mean? As in crypto? Well, we have some portfolio videos on the channel. You can go watch them. Those are pretty good. I know my camera's slanted. We've got some portfolio videos on the channel. You can go watch them. Obviously, Crypto Warehouse on YouTube. Just look it up on Google. We're there. Obviously, not flexing or anything. You know what I'm saying? But if you search up Crypto Warehouse on Google, our channel appears. You know what I'm saying? So go on Google Crypto Warehouse. We've got some videos there. We don't have like a full complete series, but we should have some videos if you scroll through, which could help you out a bit. To the YouTube chat. No one. It's a bit dead. A bit dead on the YouTube chat. Fine. I mean, hey, sometimes you just don't want to talk. That's all right. I don't know why I have this line here. There's a lot of TA. This is the problem, man. This is why I go on. I'm a messy. I will admit, I'm a messy TA guy. I'll just go on to different charts, and it'll just be an absolute mess. I don't know if this is my chart. The main one I look at, that is. I think it is. I don't think I have many other areas. I thought I got OKX, I suppose, but no. I think MEXC is where it's at. So let me go back. So the equivalent for me of okay, where is Solana's 44k Bitcoin going to be? I've just whipped my mouse and it's just gone over it. I think it's going to be basically $79, $80 towards $75. I think that's where the equivalent is going to be to finish this off. But to be fair though, we formed this inefficiency. We came to fill it exactly, so we might come to the bottom of this. You can see, form this area, came directly filling it, and then came all the way back up. So this could be an area where we actually don't come to 79, we come to 71. Just bearing that in mind. We do have many other areas though. Obviously, we do have this. I think again, the equivalent of Bitcoin's 56, 55k, and Ethereum's 2,450, whatever I said. I think for Solana is going to be this kind of rough area down here. Got many lines here. I need to delete some of these lines. They're absolutely atrocious. But we have these lines anyway. Towards about 200, 126, 120 basically. 110 was a big line. I already had this drawn ages ago. 103 is going to be really good support. So, there's just many areas down here. But yeah, I think worst case, we're getting so chopped up right now. I know. We're cooked right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. The amount of negative volume we're producing right now is immense. I've got it. I've drawn this. This is my drawing. Okay, it's not my fault. It's following it. You know what I'm saying. Anyway. So I'm just kind of looking at the movement list. It doesn't matter. Anyway, going back. Yeah. So the equivalent of where we could come down to in terms of these areas is going to be $120-ish, this area. I think this area is going to be a good area, but actually, potentially, it could be, it might not be. It could be, we could form something somewhere else. You can see we kind of had these lows. I'm trying to see if there's anywhere better. I think that's too low, personally. I think it's too low. It's crazy. You can see all these lows. The low here, low here, low here, low here. It's crazy coming down. Crazy. We've obviously got 136. This is we've got some lows here before we came up again. So the response off this price was pretty good. So we could have something there as well. Just bear that in mind. I think I'm trying to look. I think the main area is going to be roughly about $127. This rough area. We've got in the obviously one of these gaps here. We kind of filled it and then we came up again. Obviously gap here, filled it, came up again. Gap here, obviously eventually filled it, came up, but it wasn't really very good. But again, I think $125, I would say, around there. I think that's pretty low for Solana. But bear in mind, it is the grumpy, moody teenager of crypto. I've already done this analogy before. Obviously, go back in one of the streams. Actually, don't go in the streams. It's too long. It's basically, it'll follow the market, but it can't do what it wants. That's basically the ideology of it, of what I say. But again, similar with Ethereum, probably similar with Bitcoin eventually. Once we print this volume, or once we print this candle, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely nuts. What's what are we saying for this? See what sort of volume we've got. Yeah, this was this is rough, you know. It's really, really rough. Just looking at these lows, really, like we've got these like pretty good equal lows here. Let me get this up to white. You can see, you know, pretty equal low, pretty equal low, pretty equal low, coming down. You know, if we weren't in a downtrend, it would suggest to me that we should probably come back up, and it would kind of coming down to come back up again. But now we're in a downtrend. I can't ignore that. I think we're going to continue to do these, and I think it's now going to switch into the highs. You can see we had these equal, you know, these highs here, which were really good. We eventually, you know, doink, and then came down again. So where's the next area? It's going to be roughly about 152. You can see there's lows here as well. So I think 152 is going to probably be a high area where we might have difficulty, but I don't think we're going to come to there anytime soon. If we go back to the hour, like I've already looked at, huge areas, huge areas. We've even got this here, rough order block forming, which is now just forming this really crazy movement here. Which is going to form this gap. You can see we're going to eventually form this gap in the 13 minutes. We're going to probably come back into it, maybe $142, and then just come down again, really. I think, actually, yeah, you know what? We've got these equal lows here, really good equal lows. I think that's where we might come to, and then we just dump. That will just really solidify it. If we've dumped past these lows, and we're going to come back to, I think we're going to come back to these lows, and it's going to be even more negative. So, yeah. It's rough. This is rough. This is really rough. So, had a bit of recovery though, 57.2, really not bad, you know. Obviously, you can see we it's really equal lows here, pretty nice. Let me draw it from here. Make sure it's not black, or not white. Sorry. There we go. So we actually see it. So yeah, really nice lows here. So this is going to be a good area again to come to. 56.6 we got to. That's crazy. This is absolutely mental, man. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for the things. Like I said, I just wanted to give an update on my still prices on the longer term things and what we're doing. I still think we've got 2,450 for Ethereum. We've got $125 for Solana. We've got 56 towards 55k for Bitcoin. And on the grand scheme, we've got 46k Bitcoin. We've got 1,900 top end on Ethereum potentially. And then we've got about, I think it was $80 to maybe about $90-something. Obviously, that's a big range, I know, I'm sorry. But I think we have, 100 is going to be a big number. But if we are really seriously coming down, $100, like 44k areas for Bitcoin, I don't think $80 is out of the ordinary. So those are my areas. I just want to give that update. And I'm going to move on to actual new charts now. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's do it on the light mode. You know, keep it nice and clean. So what am I looking at? Because I've only had one suggestion. Let me go onto the Binance chat one more time. Just really quickly. Okay. Okay. Nothing there. So I'm looking at layer 0. I'm hopefully gonna type that and it's gonna appear with the ticker name. Okay, there it is. So it's 0. Okay, perfect. Where can we do this? Do on this one. Okay, so okay, cool. So okay, not too much data. Not bad though. Let's have a little nosy of what we got going on. So this isn't bad in terms of an order block. Let me see. Let me just draw it. This wouldn't be too bad. Why didn't that switch? Why are they inverted? Whatever, man. This is good. You can see midpoint test, really good. And then we're now okay. So this is good support. We've formed another one here. You can see, which we're now having difficulty at holding this midpoint. So good, really good, respect of these areas right now. Really good. So we're kind of like having these continuous higher like support areas. You can see like kind of doing this. I'm on the daily. Look at the 4 hour really quickly. You can see, yeah, really good. Formed it. Really good midpoint. Really good top end. Formed this one around here. Obviously slipped below. You know, just a wick there though. Oh no. Oh no, that was the forming of it. You can see on the forming of it, we then produced this smaller one down here. But yeah, this is good. This is good. You can see formed it. Really good respect. Obviously slipped below, but we printed below it. Then we came right back up, and then we're holding this. So it seems like we're holding this really nicely. It seems to be a decent area here of just general sell-ish area. I'm trying to find the consistent area. Hold on. This is pretty good here. We had these rough prices here. You can see formed these, and then we came up above it, and then came down really fast. And now we're kind of just holding these kind of rough like sell it. You can see come into it, come down, came into it, came down, came into it. Obviously now come down. So a decent sell area about 3.5 currently. We've already surpassed this though, but you can see the response of this price is going to be pretty strong. So let's draw a line there as well. Considering what the market's doing though, obviously this isn't too pre-existent in terms of how much data it has, so I'm not too worried if it follows the market too much. But to be fair, it hasn't done too bad. You can see the downwards movement of the market's similar. Had this low, we didn't really have another low. Like, if I go back to Bitcoin, we can compare charts just see if it's following nicely or not. So obviously we had that downwards. Let's go as far out quickly. So we had downwards movement, then we came up. So this was our low. So this is our equivalent low, and then we had this big up, come down, and now we're kind of having these higher lows, which we're doing. So a decent follow of it's following the market pretty decently, which suggests to me we could then obviously, if we're following the market pretty decently, follow what's currently potentially going to happen, which is this mass options close, $1.4 billion worth of options closing below 60k max pain will hurt the market. So that won't be too good, but you can see we actually have a really nice structure. You can see obviously we had these lows here, and then we kind of switched below. So we kind of obviously we came down the high. Like if we draw, you can see the high to the low, to the high to the low, high, low. So surpassing this into an uptrend on the grand scheme of things would be 4.7. Similar with Bitcoin, we had 65.5. That's roughly the area here. You can see there's an order block here at that price point actually. So a good backup of suggesting we should come to this if we surpass this price to have a higher high. If we surpass this order block as well, it'll be good support, giving us some strong uptrend. Just seeing what's going to go on in terms of the higher time frame and things. You can see we kind of have this going on. If we draw like a decently drawn thing here, you can kind of see we have a decent thing coming down towards like $2, which would be pretty crazy. Equal lows down here actually, so let's just draw this really quickly. There we go. Decent lows there. You can see obviously came down, did that little thing, came right back up to this rough area. So this is going to be a good price point at about $2.45. This is obviously, or $2.50, sorry. This again, also chart patterns, they don't always come following exactly where the thing is. So if this is a come down as the market does, this could be the equivalent low for Bitcoin and all these lows we potentially could see. $2.50 could be where zero could, or their zero, whatever, could see in terms of its really, really low point. So bear that in mind. I'm just seeing similar with all the other charts. We see a really clear structure here. You can see we had difficulty though, and this was what kind of caused us to have really something pretty bad. We had pretty big negativity. This was our low, and then we had a candle body going through it pretty fast. So big shift in the structure. And then what do we have? Obviously we had a bit of a thing here, but this is like the rough area here. Equal highs, so we didn't form a higher high. Pretty good. So so it's kind of like actually let's do it on the higher. Oh, we can't do that, can we? It's choppy, but it's not bad either. So we could have something like this. We had this rough thing going on, and then we formed these highs, and now we're kind of we still have a higher high. So we're not really in a downtrend still, even though we had this kind of well, to be fair though, it has to surpass the low. To be fair, so if we surpass this low, you can see the general trend. Even though we've got a lower high, we need to surpass this low in order to then be in the downtrend properly. So if we can surpass that, this would be pretty good. And again, if we come back towards $3.32, we'd form a really nice order block here. And we'd form a really big sell area with this candle. So this would be super strong to suggest we could break below this mini order block here and produce a lower low and then be in a downtrend coming down. So we could then see $3. $3 could be good. Where's this midpoint? $3 exactly. So we could see a downwards movement towards $3, which is probably the equivalent of Bitcoin's 55k, 56. Ethereum's for $24.50, Solana's $125. This is looking like where the area could be. You can see a good low there. Basically, this is just a good volume area there. You can see we had this gap here, which we've already filled, to be fair. Gap here we've already filled. We've already filled mostly all these gaps. Maybe go into the lower time frame just to see what's going on. We never filled this. We've never filled this. So if I draw these across with some trend lines instead, you can see this is roughly the area I could expect. So within, where's the bottom of that line? $3 exactly. So I could roughly reckon $3.10 towards $3 be where our low could be for zero. I'm not saying that's going to be the low forever. I'm just saying I think we're going to come down as with the market. You can see we're at this consistent like sell area, even across here, consistent sell area. Boom here. We came above, which is a big, it's basically like drawing support and resistance lines. These are just getting a good amount of liquidity, then coming down. So you can see like this. I mean, to figure these out, you can see really big, strong candles stopped immediately at this area. You know, there's a ton of sell here, which suggests above, if there's shorts or whatever, there's going to be stop losses above here. So again, once seeing this, you then finally come up, and again, the response coming back up to this big candle, to be fair, but then you start slowing down, and then this is just now a normal area. So, unless you see us come to this area and have big candle downwards, we might not see another whip upwards. But we could potentially see a mini like double bottom. But again, this is just a chart pattern. We have to really pay attention to what the market's doing. I do have 3 minutes left, by the way. So I'll probably finish up on this in the next minute, and then look at the chat, and then say goodbye. So this is technically this, but still, we have this high where there's going to be this backs up. This backs up. To be fair, though, you can see like you've got this rough, relatively equal highs here. You can see by these relatively equal highs here. If I just draw like 2 lines across, maybe, relatively equal highs here. Once you surpass these, there's going to be a lot of sell here. And then, okay, how is this being backed up? Well, you can see massive volume candle here. Massive volume candle. So this is going to be a good sell area regardless. So even if we do surpass this, it's only really going to come to maximum $3.90. But I still think we're in this downtrend. I think we're going to eventually... Well, to be fair, this is 2 minutes. So it depends how we form this. We could form this, bearish order block, and then continue downwards. And again, as long as we don't print above $3.45, we'll be good to go on a downwards trend. And then we'll have enough. Again, it does depend though, because you can see we're really nicely staying above this midline of this daily order block. So it depends on if we shimmy this. I'm seeing on the daily, see if there's anything interesting. Not really. Really good equal. Even on daily, really good equal lows. This is going to be a really good buy area for zero. Really good buy. Let's see what the weekly says, just to see. The weekly's not really going to matter, is it? You've got this gap here, about $4. Where's this gap? This is perfect. It's actually really good. Let's draw a rectangle here. Where's this gap? If you were to come into this gap, it starts at $3.79. What did we just talk about? We talked about $3. We talked about the same thing, didn't we? With these lines, where this sell area is at $3.79 exactly. So we've got a really good. So I think, if we were on the higher time frame to come back upwards to fill this, I don't think we're seeing anything higher than these areas, about $4. Anytime soon. Because again, this is very similar to the general market structure we've seen. So I think we have to attribute the general market structure to this. I can't ignore that. So I think we're going to come down for zero. So I am done though. Let me just finish up by showing the Bitcoin chart. Or my little structure we've got. This is like a long-term thing. I'm going to be showing this many times. So just keep this on the stream as I do the outro. Close this as well. I'll read the chat really quickly on Binance, just see what people are saying. But I'm not doing any more coins. Do you mind looking at Moonwell? You know what? I'm sorry, but I promised at the start of the stream. This happened like 2 streams in a row, where I've promised myself and the stream I'm not going to do any more coins. And then someone comes in after my deadline and suggests. So what I will do, if you join the Telegram, I'll post some charts of that in the Telegram. Or if you wait till next stream, which is probably Monday, I will stream it then. I'll cover it. I'll write it down. I'll send it to myself. I'll look at Moonwell first coin next stream if I don't already cover it. So let me type that to myself. But yeah, I'm not gonna cover it. Sorry. I'm strictly ending this stream tonight. I'm sorry. But like I said, if you join the Telegram, I will I'll cover it. Like I said, if you're already in Telegram, I'll cover it. I'll send it after this stream. Obviously not immediately after the stream. If you're not in it, if you join it and you say like hello, whatever, I'll send you some charts. Not really looking like anything on balance chat. This is a bunch of spam. Don't really care. So this is the chart. This is obviously, you know, imprint this on your mind, because I think this is going to be really important. This is really, really important. I've just noticed as well. Remember what I talked about on liquidations, where you can have like a really like puny right shoulder, but it doesn't matter as long as you break neckline. It's the same thing. You know what? To be fair, this come up might not be as high. If we do have this downwards movement for this might not be as high. It might be down, down, and then this, and then manipulation up, and then this manipulation will be downwards for the whole thing, and then coming up in distribution. Anyway, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm just saying. This is my chart, whatever. 44k, 46k. I do agree. We turn crypto on and off again. Hey, you can keep to your bullishness, but I've been bearish. I've been bearish since we entered into distribution phase, which was basically entering into this downwards movement. Not fully, but on higher time frame. I've been bearish. I've already talked about this many times, but you know, I've talked about this AMD phase. I've talked about this manipulation above the previous high. I've talked about us, if it's a bearish thing, it's accumulate, come up, and then downwards movement. You know, we accumulated down here, came up, and now we're coming down distribution phase. But I've already said, distribution phase doesn't have to last the entire thing. It doesn't have to go till, you know, 23rd of February. But whatever, I'm doing the outro. Thank you so much, all of you, for watching. Really appreciate it. If you're not on Telegram already, that's the main area. That's where Mike is. That's where the community is. That's where I am. And if you really do feel so inclined to support the channel, and it's like, these guys are really cool. This guy's great. This guy's a really nice t-shirt on. He's got a really cool. He's got really cool charts. He's got a really nice microphone, and he's got a chart. He's got chat in the corner down there. So if you think something's cool, just say. You know, $2.99 a month. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can still join the Telegram. Are you saying Bitcoin's coming down to 45 to 44k? I think so. I've had this for a while. There's been moments where it's been on and off. And I'm not just saying this because we've gone down, like, what was it? Like how many? Okay, this is daily. How much have we gone down today? Jesus Christ, 5%. I'm not saying this because we've been in a downtrend, but I've had this for a long time. So I'm not going to just let it go. I've had this for a long time. So yes, I am saying 44. I'm saying 46 to 44. That's my range. We've got 1,900 for Ethereum. We've got $80 for Solana. That might be a bit low in my personal opinion, though. We've got $80 for Solana. 1,900 for Ethereum. Potentially 2,050 there. Potentially there might be some different areas. But for Bitcoin, it's pretty clear for me anyway. We've got a lot of confidence personally in not only price action, in volume, and in previous inefficiencies. We've got this area down here personally. So that's my opinion. Again, not financial advice, no financial advice. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you all. I really appreciate you guys for joining. If you enjoy the stream, you know, support, like if you don't have any money, if you have no money at all, not a single dime. I don't even know how you're watching this if you do, but let's say you're in this like free internet cafe and you're watching this stream. I appreciate it. Number one, appreciate taking your time out of your life to watch the stream, but you don't have to pay. Just like the video, subscribe, put a nice comment. You know, make me happy. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Join Telegram. See you Thursday. We are also doing next week. Or no, Monday I'll be streaming the next CA stream. You can talk to me in the Telegram. I'm not there all the time though. And then Wednesday we're doing a giveaway on Kronos. We're doing a Kronos night in the office. It's going to be one of the first streams in a while with me and Mike in it, because it's been a while since I've gone into the office and done a stream with him. And then, so I might not do it next week Thursday. I might do it next week Friday or something like that, just to see. But I am going to be streaming Monday, which obviously, if you are here for the start stream, we've talked about the $1.4 billion options close. So I will probably cover the markets after that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if we reach. Basically, all it is right now, we've got 10. We've got about 12 hours to get back above 60k. Or otherwise, it's going to hurt. It's really going to hurt. That's all I'm saying. So, good luck to you guys. I'd be careful of longing. I'd really be careful of longing in the next, 12 to 24 hours. I'd be really, really careful. That's my personal advice. I could be wrong, could be right, whatever. Who cares? Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.